Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome to Tlatoani. This is the upcoming Aztec City Builder published by Paradox Arc. By the way, this video is sponsored by Paradox Arc, so thank you so much for sponsoring this video and two others on the channel. If you want to go check those out, you totally can. But today, we're going to take a look at the history campaign. Now, I played a handful of episodes in just because a lot of it is beginner stuff. I still think this is technically going to be the beginners, but I wanted to go here because we're going to work on the floating gardens, which is essentially what Tenochtitlan, however you want to say that, I probably butchered it, that is essentially what it was made of, and that's when the Spaniards came and they saw this wonder. This is, I think, the starting point of it. So, if you want to support this channel, you can do so by giving the video a like, subscribing to the channel, leaving comments in the comments section like always. But if you want to take it a step further, there is a link in the description below. If you could engage with that, purchase the game if it's past release, if you so choose, that would help out the channel immensely. Some of the Mexica settle on an isolated island across the lake, trade for essentials, and dabble with new agricultural practices. Apparently this is very hard. Let's see just how hard it's going to be.
Third day of the month of rites of fertility, in the year of 8th Flint. Tepetzinco is an unremarkable place, being little more than a swamp-fringed sandbank that barely rises above the waters of the lake on a windy day, and boasts few advantages aside from good fishing and a few straggling stands of ahuejote. We will at least have the comfort of knowing that few other powers in the valley would consider it worth invading, and the post will help to occupy some of our noisier malcontents while the pass of Tecpayacac is being fortified. Toscoquechli believes that the site's true potential is belied by appearances. Traders from the south have recently brought reports that the people of Colhuacan have developed an ingenious method for reclaiming land from the margins of the lake by using stockades of timber to build up beds of soil and sediment, which can then be planted with maize, fruit trees, and other farm crops. The chieftain has proposed that we apply the same technique to expand our agricultural yields, and perhaps even sell cotton to the nobles of Huexotlan, Coatlinchan, and other cities abutting the eastern shores of the valley. The new fire ceremony will be held in less than 10 years, and the chief's son Huitzilihuitl has been tasked to ensure that the cities of the Mexica will not be put to shame. We will also be expected to support Tecpayocan with tributary exports of grain and fish, while maintaining at least the minimal garrison needed to safeguard the merchants who pass south en route to Colhuacan and Xot.
Alright, so the confines of the swampy island limit your room, but there are ways to reclaim land using chinampa, made from packed soil and decaying vegetation to expand the arable land available for farming. Chinampa may be placed adjacent to existing land or within 3 tiles of a canal, so plan carefully. We can also plant ahuejote as a source of timber for your farmers to cultivate, but only on irrigated terrain. Like fruit trees, they grow best when given time and space to mature and improve a neighborhood's ambiance. Gardens are also available, and you can supply herbs to herbalists. Awesome. Reclaim at least 20 tiles, plant at least 40 ahuejote, and supply herbs to at least 1 herbalist. We can do all of those things just as soon as we get a look. Now, one of the things we're going to see here, that's going to keep going and going and going, so just ignore that over there. But let's take a look and see what we have here. So we have a small handful of common houses. We have some cottages, which are all fully stocked as well, all within the canals, and all doing some great things here. Ooh. That's a gorgeous little farming setup. But outside of that, we don't have a lot of space, as you can see there. We need to reclaim some land, plant some willow or some ahuejote, and then have at least an herbalist. You must schedule a grand festival to all the gods for the new fire ceremony in the first month of year of to read. Not to mention we have other things we have to do. Okay, so let's take a look-see here. We do have a lot of homeless. We have a lot of jobless. So we need to work on those first. Now, we actually don't have any food or wood or clay or stone. We're kind of out there, if you want to call it that politely. And we have tons and tons of swampland. So what we need to do is we need to plant some chinampa. Unfortunately, the chinampa requires 20 clay and 10 timber, half the cost if it's over swamp. So that would be over there. But what we're going to do here is we're going to reclaim the land that's already over here, I think. That's just all barren dirt stuff. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and connect this down this way. I think, yeah, let's go ahead and keep it there where it is. Unfortunately, this is not a very optimal area whatsoever. This is kind of one of your typical basic startups. But what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to plant, we're going to place one more clay pit. So we have clay incoming. We need to go ahead and get another Sawyer. We're actually going to get 2 Sawyers, and we're going to work on that way. Now, what we also need, of course, we need a granary in order to be functional. And we got to really be mindful of where we can plant this. I say plant, where we can utilize this. I think that's going to have to go there. And then in the name of symmetry, we're going to have to build up and around. And I'm going to bring in 3 more houses. And we're going to close that loop off like that. Now, ideally, actually, that goes the other way. I goofed up. Oh, there's swamp there, so we can't even build there. For goodness gracious. Okay, well, we're not going to worry about anything else except for that. And then, of course, an herbalist and, of course, some chinampa. So we're going to go ahead and plant the chinampa there. We need to probably reclaim as much of this as we can. Oh, and it looks like we have some wharfs. Okay, cool. We've never had fish before. At least I've not dealt with wharves and fish, which does mean we probably need a canoe builder. Maybe we don't need one and they automatically do it. Okay, cool. Well, they're going to tell us that we have to continue doing this. So let's go ahead and reclaim some logical land. That's going to be close to 20 tiles, I think. Let's go ahead and hit start. Just so we can see it. We're going to go ahead and fast forward just a little bit. Now, we should be able to start. Okay, cool. So we actually do have quite a bit of timber in our stuff, which is great to know. We're going to go ahead and process get some maize going there. They lack variety in diet, so we are needing to worry about that. Poor nutrition is a problem. Lots of things, I'm sure, are going to be problems overall. Because I actually don't even know if we have things like a sweeper. Okay, we do have a sweeper. We're going to hover over it. Service use is heavy. So let's go ahead and get a new sweeper and a new sentry post posted over here. And I'm going to slap a well dipper there as well, just to kind of get things going as well as they can. We're already reclaiming land with Chinampa. Although it's saying that we don't have any more unless they're just getting started. It looks like they're just getting started, which is fine. And then we don't have a good place. Requires a scenic neighborhood. So that does mean let's go ahead and get a farmer's hut here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant some HForHavoc. Oh, it has to be planted near water. Never mind. We're not going to do that. We're actually going to cancel that just for a second. And instead what we're going to do is we're going to drop a gardener. And a gardener will allow these gardens to happen, which we can then use to collect. Oh, that's right. I can't do that. There's so many interesting rules. I'll definitely say that. Some things that make it a little bit more unique. I will say a slightly more difficult than your traditional city builders. But we'll make it through, I promise. There we go. We're going to start beautifying up the neighborhoods just a little bit, because it does make a difference overall. Okay, so it looks like the Chinampa, they must be placed close to land or canal. So it does look like they have to mature before we can get anywhere good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have well over 20 there. It's just going to take a little bit. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to extend our canals. And I can totally extend, I think, just straight out. Although we do have farmers' huts already here. The real question is it worthwhile to just plant that right there or not? We're going to go ahead and do it. And we need to have some extra canals. So remember, there's 3 away. That's how canals work in this game. So we're just going to go ahead and drop one there. And that'll service all the canals for this space 100%. We're going to do kind of the same thing they did. We're going to kind of line the canal with the space here. And then I think we're going to go ahead and plant some maize trees or some maize fields. There we go. I don't want to block off this. I do want this to be accessible. And so then what we can do here is I can sort of every other here plant those. And then we can get some more HForHavoc. There we go. And then fill the rest up with some chili beds if we can still. Sweet. Okay, cool. And then once those get built, we will be good there. We do need our herbalist, so I'm going to go ahead and drop our herbalist there for the goodness gracious of everything holy. And we're going to give our guys down here, once they're connected, access to a sweeper and a sentry post, and even a well dipper, because these are farmers that are supporting us, and I really want to make sure that we get good there. Very nice. Okay, so we have done all the things. To secure the city's livelihood, you'll need to establish trade relations with several different partners and placate the rain god, Tlatoani, with a grand temple. At least 3 noble compounds should also be improved to a large estate to provide accommodations for our captains, high priests, and other elites. Finally, stock up on polk and captives to sacrifice in advance of the upcoming fire ceremony of the year of 2 Reed. So we have a lot to accomplish in a relatively short time. Thankfully, our common houses are good. They need access to religion. We can give them religion. Now, of course, we want to make sure we have places with very good symmetry. That is absolutely important. But what I really want to do is I do want to make sure that we have good neighborhoods in order to put these people in. So we're going to do a couple of things real quick. For one, I am going to... Do I really want to put a clay pit? I do want to put a clay pit there. But not only that, I want to get... Oh, goodness, I can never find these. I want to try and improve the area to the point where we can actually place something that's good. The staff structure requires a scenic neighborhood, so it doesn't look like we'll be able to do it there. Now, what we could do simply here is we could add a couple of buildings around this in order to make this something that would be worthy of going after. We could utilize the space of our farms to get a grand or a big giant temple. Strong symmetry is good. If we were to have something on the other side over there, right here, then I think it would be almost divine, if not already divine. So we may go ahead and consider that. But it is quite a hefty toll on all the things that we have to do. So I'm not going to worry about that for now. Let's go after Huitzilpochtli. Terrible butchering. I mean, butchering all over the place. And I think we could definitely get some good symmetries on both sides here. There we go. That'll at least get us to where we need to go in terms of that regard. Now, we do need to work on our noble compounds, which means we need to work on more kiln. We need to open up a quarter yard in order to ensure that we have everything that we need. And we're going to go ahead and open that up to pottery. We're going to open that up to pulp. Now, pulp is interesting because it actually doesn't require you to do anything for it in terms of irrigation. And in fact, it doesn't like irrigation. So we definitely want to make that somewhere close where there isn't a lot of issues that we could run into in that regard. So for instance, we could go ahead and I believe we could probably place a couple of... I actually don't want to do that. I want to save this for our food because it is so close. We could probably be a little bit cheeky with our road structure here and make it to where we're good there. JK, we're going to need to import all of that sort of stuff. Now, this can be irrigated, correct? Allows cotton to be woven for nobles. I believe all of these require an irrigation to be successful. So we're going to switch things up just a little bit. It's still fine that we can go over there, but we are going to utilize the space over here since we're already kind of developing our cultural or agricultural center. And again, canals, 6 spaces in between all of them. So that means our next canal, wow, I wish I could talk, goes there with our cotton beds taking up as much space as they need to. And then we could go ahead and wrap up that space. That's as best as we can do, which is totally fine. I don't really want to put 2 cotton beds over there. So now we have that. And of course, with those, we're going to need a cotton weaver. And unfortunately, I goofed up. I really needed a connection here so these guys could come all the way down. So instead, they're going to have to come all the way down and around. And that is extremely not ideal. But we're going to go ahead. Dadgummit. That's okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to place our temple here. I think that's a good spot for it. That will allow us to use this space. One more. That's the space that we need. And from there, I can do things like provide a cotton weaver. Even 3 right here. And then what I could do over in this space is simply provide something like an alcove, which provides the entertainment that we're eventually going to need. And so then when I place my... There we go. We see we're going to have strong symmetry. And we'll actually probably get to divine once we place it and everything is good on that area. Now, thankfully, we have 19 years remaining, so we don't have to worry about that. We're not so much of a time crunch, as it were. But what we are going to be in a time crunch on is trying to get trade up and running. We have 7,800 buckaroonies. We need to go to our world map. You can see, I think this is Tlatoani, technically, and we are over here. We're Tepetzinco. And Chapultepec is going to be exporting stone, maguey, and pottery. We need to open up trade with these guys. And then we can sell them timber, chili, and cotton buds. Not cotton, but cotton buds, which I think is a good distinction because that means we wouldn't have to sell so much there. We're already trading with these guys. What is it? Tekpakyokan. And then we have Kolhukan as well, which we could sell cotton, furniture, and pulp to as well. And they could sell us salt and a mate. Now, salt is needed for armor, which we may end up needing, who knows. But basically, with every single one of your trade routes, you do have to open up a trading post for it, which is logistically a little bit of a nightmare considering the small space that we have. But I very much assume that was intentional, as they did say this would be a very difficult scenario. So I'm going to open up a trading post. 2 back-to-back right here. So we have, right here, we have Tekpakyokan. And this is Tlatoani. So we need, oh goodness, what do we need? There's a lot more here than what I have trade routes with. I need Chapultepec. And Kolhuacan. There we go. And Kolhuacan. Awesome. So what we need to do here is nothing really technically for now because I don't want to import that. I do want to import Maguey. That's going to be crucial. We're going to go ahead and import 12. We could export cotton buds when the opportunity presents itself. Let's go ahead and do 4 there. I think that would be good. We've got plenty of timber. We've got plenty of food-ish. We do kind of need to be mindful of it. But basically, now that we got those cotton buds, we're going to be importing pulp, which means that we can get breweries out of it. And then we can get a couple of cloth weavers. But I can't build here, can I? Is that a road? Oh, that is a dirt road. Fantastic. So it matures and it quite literally reclaims the land, which is great. All right, so some strong symmetry here. We're going to go ahead and place that temple right smack dab in the middle. And, oh, I could totally do 2 guys there. Let's go ahead and do 4 noble compounds. We're going to draw that right up the middle. And then what I'm also going to do we have small gardens anywhere? Or an herbalist, rather? I think we could do that there. Let me go ahead and get another gardener here for that. And then I think once this is all built, it will actually be a divine. symmetry. It's saying abysmal now, but I think it's just being a little bit wonky, which is totally understandable. And then we can see what they're going to need. They're going to need something a little bit wild and crazy compared to our normal people. And we'll just have to see once they start getting everything built. Now, this is a big ask for us, by the way, because this is a very heavy thing. It takes 500 stone, 100 clay, some artwork, and gold artwork as well, which we might as well get working on that, too. So we're going to build ourselves a collector, which everyone technically wants, which is weird, because it's literally a tax collector, but people, like, desire it, which I've always thought is a little bit bizarre. No one really wants to be taxed, but apparently the people of Machiko are the exception, which congratulations to them. I'm not about it. So this should satiate everyone for the time being. We need to build a Tepokali, I believe it's called. So that way we can get education and we can get more and more people satiated. In terms of our housing, we're doing okay. We definitely need to be working a little bit more, reclaiming all of the lands here. So we're going to go ahead, and I think we're going to start claiming this land here. What do the reeds do? Swamps can be converted into farmland by building chinampas. But what about what about maize itself? I don't know if we can or not. So what we're going to do, we can build a lot there. We can also reclaim a lot over here. There's a lot of swampiness here. But I think it has to kind of be reclaimed just a little bit at a time. I'm going to go big and bold and try and get all of that done. And start pushing this way so we can start having everyone there. There we go. See what I said? Trading post has caught fire. Hopefully we can get that put out real quick. No? Okay, good. But you see what I mean? Now the symmetry is divine because they started laying the foundations for everything. And it knows that we're going to be having all of that. So we need to get working on that very, very quickly. We have very, very little money, which means I need to start exporting. I'm exporting fish, which is good. I don't think I need to import anything, so we're going to do no trade there. We're importing there. We can export some cotton buds. That might help us. We're exporting cotton buds there. I'm trying to see cotton, furniture, and pulp. Timber, chili, and cotton buds. Are they coming to kill me? Traders. Okay, cool. Maize, fruit, fish, and cotton buds. Nothing up here. Armor, timber, and cotton. Coatitlan. Do I already have one to Coatitlan? I don't. So we probably should build one because I can export timber and I have just tons of timber. There we go. We got tons and tons of timber. So we want to make sure that rocks as best it can. All right, so we've got our temple built. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of pulp. It says we don't have any, but let's go ahead and take a look at our stocks and commerce. And then let's go down to pulp. And we'll see currently right now we have 2 workshops making it. We probably need a few more. There's 7 in stock total. We're producing a lot, but there's not a ton in. So let's go ahead and get into our brewery. We do need a little bit more room to grow. I've been working on slowly but surely expanding. And this is a terrible use of what we need this for. Nope, we're still going to do it like this because I'm ridiculous about all of this. But if you can see here, our symmetry is pretty dadgum divine, which is a relief. I'm not going to lie. Now, our trade is okay. It's not too terribly great. Our prosperity is not as good as it could be. I think we're not doing too awesome there, but I think it's still okay. We're going to go ahead and slap down another fortress as well because I think we definitely have the ability to fill that out now. We are waiting some more evolution that needs to go on here. We are going to consider building a plaza. I'm going to build this in the best space that I can. which is going to be right here. And again, what we can do is we can work on our symmetry skills. I'm just going to build a sweeper and a sentry post here. And then the rest of this can't actually be built using that. We're going to go with our small gardens. We're going to build those to make that nice and pretty. And that should be enough to be able to get these over into a noble compound. Or to a modest estate. Now, we only need 3, but I've gone ahead and built 4. And the other thing is that, like, I don't have sacrifices. So unless we just sacrifice to the gods here, we're kind of SOL. We're out of luck in that regard. I have 2 years to figure it out, but I'm still a little bit weary. Also, I'm not going to lie, I don't know who else I can get trade with. I think I've traded with everyone that's possible. So I don't know if there's a wee little bug, because there doesn't appear to be anyone. Oh, there we go. That's what it was. Sweet. So we can get armor and weapons. Actually, they want armor and weapons, but they can export obsidian and Chilean clay. Obsidian's going to be super crucial for us because we can turn obsidian into weapons. So I'm definitely going to do that. Who are you? Chiconauta, of course. Why wouldn't it be anyone else? Let's go ahead and get our trading post there. We're going to build out to there. Chiconauta, of course. And we're going to import quite a bit. We're going to turn that right around into... where's our blade napper? And also what we need to be wary of are trip times. So you can see here, we're getting outside of the comfortable range of our people. So I'm going to go ahead and bring a couple of commoners into the fold. And start a small little area over here. So that way people who come in, they aren't, the trip times aren't so terrifying. We were able to get away our tribute, which is always a good thing in my opinion. What are we doing here? We're exporting a lot of timber. And I think we're still able to keep up with the timber demand, so that is good. Not too worried about that. We do have our plaza here. Sweet. Full complement of staff. Oh, without it, we do need a full complement of staff. There we go. And now, we should have a good enough place here to work on that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and build a stone road everywhere around the Nobles District. Just to give it that extra lavish effect. And my word, that does actually look pretty daggum gorgeous. We're doing okay on food here. I don't know that we're going to make this mission. I'm not going to lie. We have 16 months until the Grand Festival to all the gods. Our polk is still not where it needs to be. We need to import more Mogwai. We need to make sure that we're getting enough imports there. And this may be a little bit of a logistical problem that we're facing. There we go. Let's go ahead and connect this. And we'll be all well and good in the neighborhood. Any more chinampa that I can plant? It doesn't appear yet, but as you can see, we are reclaiming the land, which is just such a cool feature of the game, too. Not much else is going on here. We're not doing I'm not going to lie, we're not doing great. I could import some salt because, again, we'll need some salt both for the temples and for everyone else to make some armor. So we can go there. Now, as you can see, our loss profit ratio is pretty daggum bad. We're not doing great. But also, I think the logistics are a little bit wonky here that are causing us to have some issues. Now, thankfully, it looks like these noble compounds are finally satiated. Nice. Great ambiance. Integrity's doing awesome as well. So eventually it will upgrade. It's just taking a little bit of time. Improvements are on the way. Access to more nutrition. We don't have any more nutrition. We are quite literally at our cap there. So I'm not going to worry about that in that regard. Let's go ahead and build a few more alcoves here and there, just to kind of satiate the population in various ways. As you can see, anytime we hover over a building, we can see its service use. So and if it's anything other than like low or anything of that nature, we try and do our best to expand it more. It's a great use of the time. Okay, cool. So we have plenty of other options. I do have some chilies. We have maize. I do need to allow fish in, I suppose. Fish would probably be good. Oh, crap. Yeah, no wonder we weren't very happy. I wasn't allowing fruit or chili into this. So we're definitely going to steal that there, and maybe that will help us quite a bit. And we still have schedule a grand festival for the first month of the year of 2 reed. So if we were to go into our festivals, this is the first days, right? A grand temple to all the gods. We need tons of pulque and a sacrifice of any 2 victims. Okay, we're just going to get that ready. We're going to have plenty of time. Oh, hopefully we're able to do it enough. All we need are 4 loads of pulque. I don't know that we're going to make that. I'm not going to lie. That's... Hopefully we'll be okay. Need to offer sacrifices for the new... Okay. If we don't make this, I think I know what I need to do. I just needed to schedule it a little bit sooner. And so that's definitely what needed to happen there. If I can, let's get a porter stop. And that porter stop will get 8 pulque. Just so we always have it on hand. Yeah, I don't know that it's going to happen. Dadgummit. That's okay, though. We can always reload from like an autosave, and I can re-go back there. But my word. Tribute received. Fire ceremony begins. Fingers crossed. Oh, it looks like it's auto. Oh, come on. Come on. Did we do it? Oh, we flippin' flappin' did it. Unfortunately, the people are on fire in the plaza, so that's not good. We definitely need a well dipper to come in and help us out there. Yeah, they're all dying. You see that? They're dying. They're all... That's okay, though. Sweet. The new fire ceremony was a success. Heck yes. So now all we got to do is get a new population, increase our culture, and increase our prosperity, and we're ready to rumble in the jungle. So that wasn't nearly as terrifying as I thought it would be, which is great. I always love it when things are a little simpler than what you anticipate them being. The kicker now is we have to feed enough people. And then, yeah, we definitely don't have the population support based on maize alone. But of course, fruit doesn't support hardly anyone. Chilies are very much not supporting anyone. Fish, unfortunately, doesn't do the job either. So we're going to need a major expansion in terms of, yeah, in terms of everything over here. So let's go ahead and let's pull back the waters if we can. Everything we can do here. And then we're working over on this front as well. But we need some major expansions. And we can do those expansions relatively simple. I'm not concerned about it. We're going to go 3 out, and we're just going to go straight down all the way. Oh, wait, that means that they also got their modest estates. Brilliant. I love seeing that, too. That makes me very happy. And we're going to get our farmer's hut here. Now, what I like to do, this is very much a personal preference, is I like building... one building in here and then having 2, which gets our width of 3. And in a normal scenario, like a custom map or whatever, you'll be able to get more than enough here. We're having to cherry pick some lanes and stuff like that, but that's fine. There we go. And then you want to go ahead and you're going to want to go obviously 3, and then you're going to go 4 and then down, so that way it covers everything. And this basically ensures that your entire farm system is completely and totally covered. It's a really effective way. Now, I know some people will probably have some other things to go about it, but this is what satiates my innate desire for the game. There we go. And of course, it's not perfect, but it's not too shabby either. Sweet. Okay. So those guys are going to start clearing a whole lot of land. And eventually we probably need to focus a lot more on our trees too, because we're starting to push the boundaries of what our trees can do. And it seems like everywhere is catching fire. So we're going to build some more well dippers. to kind of satiate the issue there. Sweet. Unfortunately, we're still a little bit low on all that. Let's go ahead and reduce the amount of Mogwai we're importing. We may build up some more exports, but right now I don't really see much else that we can do. Now, the big kicker is we should be producing stuff for our recruits. Let's check out our army. They lack weapons and armor, which is telling me that they haven't been trading with us, which is understandable, but it's a little bit unfortunate. Oh, there we go. We're getting a little bit of income. I'd really like to get people in here so we can start training our warriors. What do we need for our culture? That's what we need to focus on as well. City education is pretty poor. City religion isn't bad. City diversion is not good either. So we need to work on those. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to go look into our religion and the gods. And we're going to see that Texcatlipoca doesn't have anything at all, but we could just go ahead and build stuff to everybody. Now, one of the really cool things that I like about this game, this is Festivals and Smiles on Rebels and Fighters. We're going to place that right there and call it good. But if we were to go right here, if we were to build a shrine to Zipitotek, we don't even have that person in here. But if we did, we would get a nice little bonus. Because that's not Tlaloc. However, you'll notice here, actually right here, we have both a temple to Tlaloc and a shrine to Quetzalcoatl, which means that they are getting some good bonuses there. So that's something you also want to kind of be aware of. We could build a shrine to Tlaloc over here. If we could, it's not scenic enough, unfortunately. But we could, for instance, build a shrine to Tlaloc right here. Oh, it's still not saying if that's appropriate enough. That's fine. But basically, we just want to start getting people more influenced. Focus on that strong and that divine symmetry. And we need to start placing more of these throughout the city. There we go. There's a divine for you. Ba-boom. Well, I have a feeling my prosperity will finally get here after about, well, a decade or so. We do need our guys to level up. Basically, it's ironic because, you know, you want to like, oh, let's expand, let's expand, let's expand. And if you'll notice, I actually have reconquered a ton of land. What I didn't pay attention to was my food production. Not only that, but when you expand and you're not thinking about it, I actually lost food production because none of this was being irrigated. So yes, I shot myself in the foot, quite literally, in this area because I was just trying to reconquer as much land as I could. But as you see, we've got quite the expansive everything going on here. Let's do one more ceremony just for kicks and giggles. We'll go in the dryness. Let's do a grand to all the gods. Let's just get that rolling. But as you can see, we really have it going on. It's doing great. We're having tons. We're meeting all of the requirements that were asked of us, from prosperity to culture, which is a really arduous process, but it's so rewarding in the end. We're gonna go ahead and like build fancy roads out to our fisheries, because I'm just gonna kind of flaunt my wealth here a little bit, which actually might bring my my rating down just a little bit. But we can see here that we're just doing great. This is an awesome look into the city builder, 100%. We just gotta wait just a tiny little bit for that prosperity and for everything else to hit just like it needs to. Sweet. The Emperor is sufficiently impressed that he has chosen you for promotion and an assignment within the Empire. We have done it. We have upgraded our people to modest estates. We even have a large estate here to the beyond, where we can't even do anything else beyond it. And we have successfully expanded that wee little bit of ground into a fledgling empire. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me in this video. Most likely, the last sponsored video will be the next mission, because I'm really enjoying the campaign. So a huge shout out to Paradox Arc again for sponsoring these videos on the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you want to support the channel, you could do so by giving this video a like, subbing to the channel, turning on notifications, adding your comments in the comments section down below, but also, again, with all things important to sponsored videos, clicking that link in the description is the best way that you can do it. Thank you so much once again for hanging out. This is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next video of Tlatoani.